72% of the jobs. Companies 5 to 500 employees, and all we care about is policy.
I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. Would Katt Williams' prize be to be a part of the Pink Friday 2?
You need to grow the up with your irresponsible act. That's right.
Former illegal immigrant and non-US resident Nicki Minaj is doing everything in her power not to get deported, even if that means she has to hold Trump's decrepit old hands. Nicki is really becoming a laughingstock in the industry now, and you really just have to laugh because she has no one but herself to blame for that. And trust, one person who is absolutely cackling in the background over all of this is Katt Williams. Now, Republicans love to grab out-of-context clips of Katt and try to spin it like he's pro-Trump. But if you actually follow his work, he's been consistently dragging Trump and clowning MAGA supporters for years. Remember when he dragged Trump and called him a clown for pushing reckless COVID nonsense like using bleach? Katt said at the time, "Right now, we have a perfectly suitable clown running the free world. We got a guy whose advice included things that no decent would tell you to do with a wound. The man said if you have bleach, rub it on yourself. Sprinkle some in your eye. You see any UV light, walk in front of it. But these are serious times. The president is a clown." And it didn't end with COVID. Katt has been consistently clowning Trump over his ignorance and incompetence.
Trump said this week he spoke to the president of Puerto Rico and the president of the Virgin Islands.
Sir, you are the president of Puerto Rico, and you are also the president of the Virgin Islands. So the question is, who done?
And let's not forget that Katt has been on Trump's neck about his criminal record.
It's a crazy time. I'm not the only black man with a bunch of mug shots. Show another one. What you see, too?
Now, as for Nicki, remember how she embarrassed herself when she tried to get Katt Williams to join her on tour?
I want to know. Now, I know that this is the busiest man in show business, okay? I know that he's rich, and I know that, he's the funniest man in showbiz. Can y'all hit up Katt Williams and ask him what would be his price to hi Haiti, how are you? To be a part of the Pink Friday 2. Yeah. But I would like to know if on one of his off days, if I could slide him a little bag, a big bag, and then have him come out.
But Katt shut that down real quick as soon as he saw how crazy Nicki's fans are.
Nicki Minaj said she wanted me on her tour, and she told so many people, a million people hit my phone at the same time. It scared me and Jesus. He shut all of it.
Now, looking back at this and seeing how Nicki's career is flopping, it really feels like she only wanted Katt to join her tour so she could sell more tickets. But Katt clocked it immediately, and he wasn't about to be used as a rollout strategy. So once that play fell apart, Nicki had to pivot and find another way to stay relevant. And that's when the whole MAGA rebrand started. And just like that, Nicki went from being one of the most dominant female rappers in the game to a case study in self-sabotage and one of the biggest losers in music history. Because how else to describe this than loser behavior?
Dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president.
Now, if Nicki had always been a MAGA Trumpy, none of this would even be a discussion. But she went from publicly dragging Trump, calling him evil over his immigration policies, to now bending herself into a pretzel trying to impress MAGA. And the real embarrassment is that the MAGA crowd doesn't even like her. And let's be real, they'd deport her without a second thought. As of January 2026, Nicki Minaj is still not a US citizen. She was born in Trinidad and Tobago, moved to the US as an undocumented immigrant, and confirmed in 2024 that she does not hold US citizenship.
Well, the only thing is, I'm not a citizen of America. Isn't that crazy?
You're a citizen of where?
Of Trinidad.
Oh, you're Trinidad.
Yes, boy. I was born on a beautiful island called Trinidad and Tobago. But I've been in the States for many years. You would think that with the millions of dollars that I've paid in taxes to this country, that I would have been given an honorary citizenship many, many, many thousands of years ago, Landale. Okay?
By the way, this young man Nicki was talking to was her fan from Jamaica, whose life had been threatened because of his sexuality, and he was seeking asylum. He was a huge fan of Nicki, so he got on a live stream Nicki was doing, and she gave him advice and offered her help. And to think that Nicki is now out here throwing homophobic slurs at Don Lemon and praising Trump's immigration policy? Again, this is simply loser behavior, especially knowing how Nicki used to publicly drag Trump. Nicki also openly acknowledged her own undocumented status before, including in this post from 2018, when she called out the Trump administration over its family separation policy. Nicki wrote, "I came to this country as an illegal immigrant at 5 years old. I can't imagine the horror of being in a strange place and having my parents stripped away from me at the age of 5. This is so scary to me. Please stop. Can you try to imagine the terror and panic these kids feel right now?" Also, remember when she rapped, "Island girl, Donald Trump want me go home?" Or how about the fact that in 2020, Nicki threw shade at black celebrities for going MAGA, and she said she wasn't about to jump on the Trump bandwagon. And yes, that's a direct quote from her. But here we are in January 2026, and Nicki is out here holding hands with Trump and claiming he's her favorite president ever. On Wednesday, January 28th, Nicki appeared at the U.S. Treasury Department's Trump Accounts Summit in Washington, D.C., and she declared herself Trump's biggest fan. She also shared this video with Trump on X, calling him the best president of all time.
Hello, guys. I'm with my favorite president, the best president of all time.
And I'm with the queen of rap.
And as you can imagine, the comments were absolutely brutal. One user shared headlines about Nicki's husband and brother both being grapists and wrote in the caption, "Birds of a feather flock together." Someone else asked, "Did you get the pardons yet?" And then another user shared a photo of Harriet Beecher Stowe's classic Uncle Tom's Cabin and asked Nicki if she's planning on doing a remake. But here's where it got extra messy. When several fans in the replies pointed out that Nicki still isn't a US citizen, Nicki clapped back and in the process basically admitted that she's using her new relationship with Trump to help fast-track her citizenship. Nicki wrote, "Residency? Residency? The cope is coping. Finalizing that citizenship paperwork as we speak, as per my wonderful, gracious, charming president. Thanks to the petition. I wouldn't have done it without you. Oh, Citizen Nika, you are the moment. Gold Trump card, free of charge." So Nicki is now openly admitting she's cheating the system to become a citizen, while at the same time going on a hate campaign against immigrants who aren't rich and don't have connections like her. Now check out this video of Nicki at the Trump summit surrounded by all these MAGA Republicans. Now tell me, does it look like any of these people actually want her there? The lack of self-awareness is truly astonishing. You can clearly tell they're laughing at her, not with her. And somehow, she's the only one who can't see it. Peak loser behavior indeed. But let me hear your thoughts on Nicki going MAGA and the hypocrisy of it all. Nicki built her whole career on immigrants and marginalized communities, but then she proudly backed a man who harms them and tears families apart. Is it just ignorance or a complete moral failure? Leave your comments down below and don't miss this next video.